Mike checker. 1 2 1 2. It's your boy. Ha! Mic check. Audio. Sound pretty crispy. You ask me. I like it. Sound pretty crispy. You dig? Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Yo, what it do? Greetings, everybody. This your boy T Hyphen, man. I'd like to welcome everybody for tuning in, man. Dope Lines Podcast. Give me a minute, man. Let me work with these headphones. You dig? But we're gonna wait till this live feed fill up. We got some special guests today, baby. We going in today, baby. Like I said, man, salute to everybody tuning in, man. Tuning in, all my family, my friends, loved ones, beloveds. You dig? This Dope Lines podcast, man. This is a major show. This one time for the culture. If you believe in the five elements, and you know we talking about when we speak about hip hop, the real culture, we got two of the best today, baby. Give it up to y'all self for tuning in. Yeah, I'm waiting on my boy to come in. We waiting on the room to fill up a little bit. But for those who don't know, who've been sleeping under a rock, or I don't know what's going on, we got hip hop greatest. I'm talking about we got legendary GOAT, uh, and we got another potential underground legend, Sean Price type, legendary type of GOAT. For those who don't know, tonight we got actor, comedian, poet, rapper. Man, he just do so much, man. My man from the West Side of Chicago, Wood Harris, on the show tonight. And for those who love the underground, they say it's boom bap. They say it's gritty. They say it's New York, East Coast rap. For those who like that, we got nothing else but that boy 38 Special, upstate New York. The most goddamn it dangerous. To me, underground, when it comes to hip hop, it's only a few um, MCs that I'm looking out for right now because I'm a '90s MC nostalgist, so I like that '90s boom bap, and I can't help it. Nas, Jay Z, Biggie, Razkaz, Twista, Common. I like that old school. I like Fat Joe when he was fat. So I like that. That Gang Starr, that Guru, that Premier, that Def Squad, of course. That Red Man, Keith Murray, and Eric Sermon. But 38 Special was one of them dudes who caught me off guard because I promise you I didn't know that. First of all, I didn't know that that type of style was back. I'm not even knowing that boom bap is back. You dig? I'm not knowing that what we call that '90s gritty hip hop, that Master Ace, that you know Crooklyn's finest, Diamond D production type of shit was still out. So when I heard Cat Stove God was the first one I heard. I can't lie. Shout out to Dirty Darren who put me on Stove God. I heard that boy spit, and it was like, shh, it was almost over with. The man said he sold a brick in the church parking lot. It was crazy. So then I started digging into their little camp. I started hearing Griselda, of course, Conway, Benny, Benny the Butcher. Shout out to them boys, you know what I'm saying? Dangerous, dangerous. Um, West Side Gunner, I started hearing all them boys. And it's a whole bunch of them, man. So then I went to his show in ATL, and shout out to my homie Lurch. My homie Lurch. Big Lurch, Jersey. Got me backstage and shit. Figured I'd like this. So I go back there, you know what I'm saying? I see Stove God pushing the actual stove on the stage. You know what I'm saying? Like crazy as hell. The man pushing the stove on the stage. Um, and then I just seen a plethora of MCs just come out and destroy the mic. I won't say it was Wu Tang, but it was Wu Tang like to see MC after MC after MC just come out there and just destroy the mic. It was something to see. So uh when they got to your boy 38 Special, he came up there, man, and I'm not even sure what mixtape or what album was out then that he was pushing, but it was most dangerous. Like uh, 38 bars on top of bars, metaphors, uh, slow flow, uh, just uh, vintage. I would say, you know, and it's crazy because his name is Special, and damn it, if that nigga ain't special, you know what I'm saying? Like, 'cause what make it special is the old school sound, the old school rhythm, the vibration, the beats, the soulful, hypnotic movement that they got. So shout out to everybody that's tuning in, man. Let me check some of these comments, man. You dig? We got a whole lot of people checking in. Shout out to the whole west side of Chicago. I already knew. You know, y'all checking in. Shout out to all my peoples. Much love. Yeah. But like I said, man, we just waiting to fill this room up. But while we do that, I want y'all to understand that Dope Lines Apparel is out there. Dope Lines Apparel, the site is up. Uh haven't put too much product on there yet. I can't lie. I'm still uploading product, but the page is up and running. So please excuse our progress. We're just trying to get shit together right now. Um, you know, it's a learning curve. Whew, trust me, God's will. But yeah, and this is spoiler alert too. For a spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the TV show Forever on Netflix, you might get some inside scoop, or you might find out what happened before you watch it. If you watch this episode today, spoiler alert on a spoiler alert. We definitely going in. Shout out to everybody tuning in, man. I see everybody tuning in. The whole shot, New York tuning in. Yes, sir. My homie GQ. Yes, sir. Shot time, what up? The homie Chris Pons. That boy Tito. You dig? I just found out Tito was in the group. Uh Sounds of Brooklyn. I believe that was it. Or Sons of Brooklyn. And we gotta goddamn it tap in and find out a little bit more about that. You know, that's some intriguing news, man. I definitely didn't know, man. I know my man got bars. I know he's a great actor, but I didn't know he was, holding Brooklyn down like that. Salute to my homie Chris Pons, man. Checking in. The homie Chris Pons, goddammit. You dig? Yep. Hold on, y'all. Give me a minute. I'm trying to get this together right now. The technical difficulties, but we got it. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you one thing about it though. You better have patience. You better have patience. If you're a doctor or you waiting on God, it's always good to have patience. Straight up. Y'all hold tight. Most magnificent show coming up. Uh, like I said, dope line. This for the culture. This for uh the real hip hop nostalgists, the people that really love the art, the people that don't want to hear about no beef, no, you know, somebody free somebody, lock up somebody, all that. We not trying to hear or tap into nothing like that. This right here is lyrical. I want everybody to tap in. Let me know what is your favorite Wood movie. What movie do you think he probably should have got an Oscar. Or fuck it, we're gonna give him a hood Oscar. The hood Oscar's right here. What movie you think that he played in that he was just outstanding and got overlooked? And what do you rank him in? Like a lot of people say he's a B actor. And if B stand for black, I I would agree. But other than that, come on, man. We seen this man get down and sings with some of the best, black, white, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And held his own. And matter of fact, stole the scene. So the disrespect on the A, well, I should say, not being on the A and being a so-called C list, B list actor. That's crazy, man. Put some respect on the man name. Shout out to everybody tuning in, man. The room is filling up. About to go crazy, man, on this live. Who does this? Dope line. Who does this? Dope line. You did. Shout out to everybody tuning in, man. I put the shades on today too. I have to let everybody know. I put the shades on today because I was feeling like Hollywoodish, man. You know, Cat was feeling Hollywoodish. I got Hollywood stars checking in, man. So it's nothing. I bust out the Hollywood shades. I ain't go Detroit on them. I ain't put no buffs on or nothing. You know, that's when you really killing the game. When you throw the buffs on. You put the buffs on their ass. Mm. Let me get my man's on. Hold on. Shout out to everybody tuning in. Like I said, man, this is Dope Lines, man. We got a lot going on right now. Technical difficulties. Hold on, man. I ain't gonna say difficulties. Just gotta get to it. When it comes to hip hop, man, I want to know, man, like who who's your who's the favorite artist right now? Besides Kendrick Lamar, man, like who's your favorite artist, man? Like I said, I got a whole bunch of people that I'm messing with, man. That's underground, that's really doing their thing. I got my shades on, got my superstar status shit. Hold on, let me get you in right quick. Shout out to everybody, man, that's tuning in, man. This Dope Lines podcast. I'd like to welcome, man, one of the man, best MCs I heard in a long time, man. And I got a funny story how uh how I end up getting him involved with Eric Sermon, man. It's probably one of the funniest stories in the world, man. Hold on, let me get this together right quick. Yeah, but ladies and gentlemen, without delay, I got my man 38 Special on here, man. Y'all, man, make some noise for 38 Special, man. Yes, sir. Can you hear me, Joe? Can you hear me? Hold on, family. Let me make sure I tap you in with the sound. All right, there you go. I can hear you now.
Loud and clear. What's good?
Oh,
Trust.
what's good, family? What's good, man? Look, man, first of all, it's an honor, man, to have you on the show. Shit. Uh Pretty much you you kicked off a barrage of people that's been in my email now that want to come on the show once they heard you was coming on, man. So it's something about you, man, being 38 Special. I don't know if you know how the name is really coincide with how special I think your rhymes are, man. And I think that you are a lot of favorite rappers, favorite rapper. So without delay, man, I just want you to let people know where you from, uh, and basically your origins. Yeah.
Well, I'm from Rochester, New York, man. That's upstate New York. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing this shit for a while, man. I started off, fucking around with Greenland, DJ Greenlander, on the mixtape circuit and shit. You know what I'm saying? But I started taking this shit serious about the last 5, 6 years. You know what I mean?
That, that's crazy too, cause I was thinking when I heard that Green Lantern was from the same area, and I heard the mixtape later and heard you on there, young, just killing shit. You had to be like 18, 19, and was just killing shit. And then it seemed like it took a pause, and then you just reemerged out of nowhere. Like, can you tell us like what happened in between, or did you keep going, or did you stop, or what happened?
Yeah, I always was on and off with music because I ain't had no way. I ain't understand how to liquidate, the talent and shit. So I was always off and on with it and shit. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I just started taking it serious 2019,
Okay,
and that's when I've been
okay,
completely consistent. Prior to that, I was into all kind of shit. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. We definitely understand that. But but so growing up, where you from? Who was your like the rap idols? Like, name some people that was like your inspiration if they, was if they was large, local, or major. Like, name some people.
Shout out to my older brother, man. He rests in peace and shit. He was the one that influenced me to start rapping and shit. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And we ain't really had no rappers here too tough. Like by the time it was rappers here that I knew of, I was one of them. You know what I'm saying? Like the
Wow.
person that inspired me, I would say was my older brother. You know what I'm saying? And
Damn.
growing up, I was inspired by like the same routine, the Nas, Jay Z's, Big Pops. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Great. You know?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I hear you.
Yeah, but that's it. I was inspired by the same guys, man. Usual suspect.
Yeah. 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 I look. Trust me. I'm all the way in Chicago, and I can't think of a rapper, especially my age, that didn't grow up inspired by New York rap. Period. Too. You know what I'm saying? Like, we grew up on that New York, that boom bap to whatever you call it. But growing up upstate New York, did you find it harder to prove yourself, like being surrounded by other MCs, or when you went out, promoting your music or trying to promote yourself? Did you find it harder being where you from?
There wasn't no opportunity here. You know what I'm saying? You got to make it out of here first to really generate some type of interest and shit. I'm from a real small city where it don't matter how good until you generate interest from outside of the city, you really ain't gonna make no impact. You know what I'm saying? So it was harder than anybody from a bigger city with more opportunity. You know what I'm saying?
I think
Definitely.
that make you a better MC though. Make you because you have to be a different type of, your skin got to be a little tougher, man, because you coming from a small city, so you have to really, really make an impact, and you have to be different. And so, what was it? Your brother that created your style, or Like what created the style? Because the dope lines, we all into like the architecture part of the rhyme. What created your style and your rhyme pattern and the way you write?
I just came, you know what I'm saying, from just fucking around naturally, man, listening to the usual suspects, man. You know what I'm saying? Pulling pages from everybody I fuck with book. You know, I started real young. I started probably like at 7 or 8 years old. So like,
Okay.
you know, I was like a young prodigy in this shit. So by the time I was like 16, I had 10 years in. You feel me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So that's why I'm so nice from the time that I put how long I've been doing it. You know what I mean?
So swinging over to producer and everything, how do it feel now being who you are, being, you know, you're like an independent mogul, if I could say so. Uh, how do it feel to be, when you come back home, your hometown, you the guy everybody look up to? What type of pressure or is it pressure?
Yeah, to be honest with you, bro, I'm so ambitious and so hungry that I don't look at nothing that I'm doing as nothing, and there's so much more work to put in and shit that I don't even feel like I did anything. You know what I'm saying? So it's so much more work to get put in. It's like how you claim underground mogul. I'm just trying to be a mogul in general. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
It's like it's so much work to be put in that I don't even let none of that blind me or make me think. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, yeah,
so it don't be getting up some days realizing like oh shit, motherfuckers know who I am. I'm still adjusting to it and shit. I'm used to being a nice nigga that nobody
hmm,
heard of. You know what I
hmm.
mean? So I still be surprised every day. Somebody say they fuck with me or this, that, and the third because I built this shit one fan at a time. You know what I'm
I
saying?
feel you. I feel you. So talking about adjusting, how did you pivot from and you made a nice pivot coming from street life to being, like I said, that underground, and not disrespectful when I mean underground. I mean underground is just like you
I
moving
get what you
without
the
having
help of the
like needing help or notoriety from somebody else. Like you never needed it. Like you just kept doing you and you built the empire. You building an empire. Like how did you pivot from that street life? What was your inspiration that made you pivot and say, you know what, I'm about to get this shit right and do this shit?
man. There's a few things, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been through a lot of shit in the streets. You know what I'm saying? And I never ever gave the music my all. And then I was inspired by, a couple peers and motherfuckers around me that made me show that I show it to be done. And that was really all I needed to see and shit. I wanted to really give it my all without no interference with nothing else going on. So I completely
Yeah.
walked away from everything else. You know what I'm saying? And once I did that, I was able to like start seeing results. Once I put all my energy into it, I
Okay.
start seeing results. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Wow.
So I'm waiting on Wood too. He just hit me up. He about to tap in. But did you ever have that almost give up moment? And if you did, what was it? And how did you overcome that?
Shit, man. I went through a lot of shit out here, you know what I'm saying? And it was one point in time that life just had me not putting out music for over a year. Some time I wasn't making no difference. Was prior to me ever making money off music, but I had put out so many projects. I got to the point where I just was like, it probably ain't even worth it no more.
Mm.
I had a conversation with a nigga. Just shout out to my homie Rain and shit, man. This nigga told me, man, some real shit. He was like, yo, it was like, man, you only you only gonna lose if you throw in the towel. If
Yo,
you keep going, you
that's a dope line.
lose. But if you throw in the towel, that's when you lost.
Yeah.
So long as you ain't throwing the towel, you can't say you lost at this shit. And I needed to
Man,
hear that. You know what I'm saying?
man,
I was like,
man.
oh. Okay, yeah, I ain't about to throw in the towel because if I, fuck all that, I'm gonna keep going. You know what I'm saying? And that's what did it. I just had to keep going. You know what I'm
Damn.
saying?
He was just a regular. He wasn't a rapper. Just one of the homies.
Yeah, he was a rapper and a producer
Okay.
that believed in me early. And as soon as he heard the craft, he seen the talent and shit. And he used to hit me like, yo, out the blue, and we didn't really know each other, but he just used to come across my
Dope.
freestyles. He used to hit me in the inbox, like, yo, what is you doing? Why is you quiet? Like, you need to be working. You know what I'm
Dope.
saying?
Dope.
Yeah, so
And it's crazy too, because I'm gonna tell you the story of how Eric Sermon really like started hearing you. Because we was in the studio, we just digging through tracks, looking for beats and shit. So, we just pulling up all types of old school shit, all the old school hits. So we digging, So then I say, yo, this sound like something 38 Special rap on. And then he was like, who is that? And I was like, what? So I started playing the music, right? And he in Studio B, Studio C, but you could tell he just gravitating to the music because he ended up coming in the main studio room and just sitting down and we just playing shit. And he like, yo, that nigga nice. Like, why haven't I heard of him? He got songs of Cool G rap, and I see him, doing freestyles everywhere. I'm playing all your videos. So I get to the song where you say you the weakest link in the crew, you Keith Murray. And of course, Eric, no, it's not nothing personal or nothing. Murray, shout out to Keith Murray. That's my brother, man. That's my brother, A1, day one. But when you said that line, Eric must have hopped up and was like, yo, that nigga ridiculous, man. He's silly. Like, he needs to, he needs some recognition. We need to get that out. So I was like, yo, I got his number. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, yo, he was like, man, give me a minute because I got to get some tracks for him. And, I want to get ready. But it was crazy how the whole thing came along though, because he was like, you know, as a goat, a pioneer, he was just impressed on everything. And I think like the rhyme flow and the pattern was more intriguing to him because that's like more how they flow. That's how they come off. So man, it was just the craziest story in the world though. But man, you know, could you tell him how y'all end up working together or whatever?
yeah, definitely. So, after that, you I want to say you put us on the phone a couple times and we talked,
Oh yeah.
but we never got a chance to actually meet each other in person. But you was the one that actually let me know that he was aware of me and how he was aware of me. But we
Yeah.
never got a chance to actually meet in person until years later. I was actually working out in LI. Shout out to my homie Vince. And he heard I was out there and he pulled up on me. You know what I'm
Damn.
saying? And we got
Damn.
in. You know what I mean? So
That,
yeah.
that's crazy. But one thing about it, you always been a humble dude. Cause I don't even know if you remember how I got your number. I seen you at a
I
show.
know.
I think I seen you in a show in it was a show in the ATL, Stove
I
God.
work.
Yeah, and I seen y'all, man. I was like, yo, 'cause that was the first time that I even heard of y'all was like through Stove God. But when I seen everybody come on and perform, I was like, yo, they crazy. They like give me like Wu Tang type of vibes. Like when I first time I heard Wu Tang take over the stage and Jack the Rapper with the mask on, it was that type of shit. So I was like, it's been a while since I had that '90s type of vibe. So I was like, shit, these niggas nice. I'm talking about, and you killed it. And I was like, yo, I got a podcast I'm starting. I need your info. Eric Sermon, his family. I want to hook it up, whatever. And you was like, bet. And you just gave me the number, and that was it. Like you say, but we kept in touch. Always was a humble dude. I tell everybody, man, because you got a lot of fans in Chicago. I'm talking about a lot, and they always hear that that we know each other, whatever, and they waiting on you to come, and it's just like they'll break their neck to get to a 38 Special show. But I just had to
So
tell everybody, man, that you a real one, man, and salute. Like I say, when Wood jump on, he already been and he see that LeBron. For everybody who know hip hop, how did that feel? And LeBron singing your shit or rapping your shit word for word. How did that feel, fam?
That felt dope, man. You know what I'm saying? It's dope because, these is other greats acknowledging me as a great. It show that we move on the same frequencies.
Yeah,
And it show that you never know who listening to you. You know what I'm saying? I would have
yeah,
never known that neither one of them was tapped in. You know what I'm saying? But you never know. So that just show, man, you gotta keep doing you and putting out music and just doing you. You know what I'm saying? You
yeah,
never know who listening. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So, but
yeah,
that shit, that's fire, man. Shout out to both of them boys, man. I
yeah.
definitely appreciate their support.
Man, that's to me. I was like, that's huge because you like the fuel that fuels like the beast. Like you the adrenaline rush for you know shit like hoopers that's killers. Like you fuel them beasts. So I was like, that got to be
Bro.
like a good feeling when before a big game or something. Most likely they got some of your music pumping in their headphones, and they walking around the house, saying the lyrics, or in the gym working out like that got to be like, man, big for like you, as far as you and your camp, as far as like the feeling. But I want to know too though, producing. How did you start producing? What made you say, hell, I'm about to get in the lab and make these beats?
Be honest with you, I've been producing since like 15 years old. You know what I'm
Oh
saying? I
shit.
started, but I never really pushed that out there. So started producing at like 15 years old, and then when I met Green Lantern, I met him because he liked the beat I made, not even because I was rapping. And he kept me around because he respected me as a producer. I was so young and nice as a producer. He kept me around, and then didn't start putting me on his mixtapes
Crazy.
until as a rapper until like 4 years later. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
So I was around Green Lantern carrying his crates in the club and shit as a young producer. But
Damn.
I knew thought that I was a rapper, but I was so young that I was 16, 15, and he wasn't really in no position. But I was talking that street shit because I was really living that life. But by the time I got older, he was like, oh nah, this kid nice, and then started putting me on his mixtapes and calling me his artist. You know what I'm saying? But
That's crazy.
yeah, so it started like that, but I didn't actually, start fully producing until I started producing my own projects. But prior to that, I would produce a joint here and there, like the joint with me and G Rap, Upstate to Queens. That was the
Yeah.
first joint that I produced that. So that was the first joint that I produced that another nigga rapped on, and I was just in the studio playing beats with G, playing all kind of niggas beats, and it was just a test. I threw on that beat. They ain't say who made it, and he was like, "Oh nah, this the one." And I was
Oh
like, "This
shit.
the one." That right there gave me let me know.
Oh
And
shit.
on that album, I had everybody on there from Alchemist, DJ
Yeah.
Premier, Pete Derringer, every producer on there, and my joint still stood with every joint on there. You feel what I'm
That's
saying? So much that I
crazy.
released as the first. You know what I'm saying? So that gave me the confirmation, and then I started
Yeah.
producing whole joints for my, what I'm saying, and others. You know what I mean? But I've been nice on the beat since a 15-year-old kid. I've been working the MPC since a 15, 16-year-old kid. You know what I'm saying? That was
God
my
damn.
video game, my
Yeah.
instrument. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So that's you don't just get nice like this overnight. You don't just wake up and
Nah.
pick up an
Nah.
MPC and know what you're doing like this overnight. You know what I'm saying? I know guys that had MPCs for years that still don't know their way around it. You know what I'm
So
saying? And like this, this ain't no shit you just pick up overnight. I'm a real musician. You know
so
what
you
I'm
an
saying?
MPC fan?
Definitely to the core. That's what I
Shit.
was taught. You know what I mean? That's what I still do.
Okay. Okay. So you like to beat on them pads. Hey, but one thing about it, once you do something like that and that beat stood out, that's like affirmation, confirmation. Like you said, like you got something, and all you gotta do is just keep going. Now I hear um this new album. I got to talk about it. before I get you off. Uh, 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 uh. Oh, um, before that, I gotta say, rest in peace to your moms, man. I know the whole inspiration, um, and I think I kind of know the correlation with that and the music because Eric Sermon had the same type of thing when his mom's passed and his grandma passed. Um, that album you put out, could you tell us about it, man? Could you tell us, like, like every I wanted more. I wanted more songs on the album. That's the only thing bad about the album. I was like, yo, he could have gave us two more songs, man. Could you tell us about it, man, and your inspiration, man, and rest in peace to mom, the whole thing, man.
Yeah, I looked at it as, it was just it was like a very introspective album where I was just like, wasn't really so much worried about spitting balls. I was more worried about storytelling and bringing the people into my world,
Yeah,
giving them a piece of me. At the same time, I was, paying respect to my moms. It's like building a shrine and shit. You know what I'm saying? So
yes,
I,
sir.
followed the whole theme of the mother and gun, and me, it's one of my, it's like my best piece of work just because it's heartfelt, and I was free on it, able to just talk about, my stories, not really worried about trying to entertain. I was more worried about expressing myself, and that's why that album is so dope to me. Because mostly when I get
Man,
in the booth, I'm here to entertain with the bars, but this was more therapeutic and just about me expressing myself. And that's why this album is so relatable and touch a lot of different people and make a lot of people like cry and shit because
yeah,
you know I'm expressing myself in ways that us as men we don't really express ourselves too touch. So it feel good to
man,
be able to hear or rap that. You know what I mean, and be able to express that in a song form. So and I seen the impact it had on a
yeah.
lot of guys and shit, and it showed me the power of music. You know what I'm saying? So like that's definitely my best piece of work to date right now.
Yeah, you kind of like
Till I drop
uh
again.
you kind of like stole my question because I wanted to know like the impact that it had on like you say grown men. I know you probably heard some stories that people was like, man, like yo, I felt it, everything, and it was, and that's missing in the art. So that like when I hear the word 38 special, like your hip hop was like much needed for cats that was trapped in the 90s and didn't want to hear that new shit and wasn't feeling it and and like you were you a lyricist. You've been through it all. Like you said, you had that pause in your life where you wasn't with you got frustrated, and I know that DMX line probably hit you hard. I want to make music, but I'm all fucked up. You know what I'm saying? And I know that you went through all stages of life. So when cats see you on the other side and they see you independent, they see you, you know, and you floss in a different way because you more like floss like I got my shit together than stunting on somebody. You like you the type of dude that like got the good credit score, now and proud of that shit because you know how to work your number. That you've been the vinyls and man, just give us a little scoop on how you doing the merchandise and everything. How you like the Tech Nine, man. To me, you like Tech Nine. You on that level. So could you tell us a little more about your entrepreneurship?
Well, man, man, it's just like anything else, man. I got a product. People know what they could come to me and get, and it's people that support it. They want to buy it in all forms. And I deal with a
Yeah,
lot of collectors. A lot of people collect my product. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I make collectible items, shit. Limited pieces of shit, and it's been working for me, man. Shout out to the supporters, man. There's a lot of people that still want to hear that music, man, and want to do everything to support it. You know what I mean? So that's what that's about.
That's right. So the vinyl. Can you tell me a little bit more of like how you selling vinyl? How you selling like really like physical copies of music over just streaming?
So,
How did
yeah.
you?
So yeah, I sell everything, man. I break a I was about to say I break a brick down, and you know, but hey, listen, I break the project down into everything that it could be sold into. You know what I mean? So I got vinyls for sale, CDs for sale. I even got cassette tapes and shit, man. You know what I'm saying? I might got one around here somewhere and shit, man.
That's
I even
crazy.
got cassette tapes and shit. You know what
See,
I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
and
yeah,
that shit, you know, like, you know
artwork.
what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? These are
Yeah.
collectible items and shit. You know, it's only a few of those.
You got the
People
credits up in
appreciate,
them joints? You got the
of
credits?
course, of
See, come on,
course,
man.
man.
See, that was like growing up in Chicago, man, and I don't know if it was like that everywhere, but when we got a hold of some hip hop, it was mostly New York, and we just wanted to know everything, like who produced it, who did the artwork, who played guitar, who played bass, like so the credits, man, and the artwork meant a whole lot. So to buy that physical copy and have something to hold, I think it just mean more, man. And like now you can stream a song, string a couple of songs that artists got, but do you think that people still like getting that feeling like getting a CD and knowing that it might be 10 songs on there, but you know five of them dope, and that track number 10 before you when you flip it over always gonna be dope as hell. Do you think it's still like something in buying the physical copies?
And mostly it's just a supporting thing. A lot of these guys buy it just they don't even open it. You know what I'm saying? They just want to have a piece of something tangible from the artist
Yeah,
because we in a digital world where it's nothing
yeah,
tangible.
yeah,
So to know I got something directly from your hands and shit that I could hold and look at it,
yeah.
pass to my kids, and that's the really the whole thing of it. You know what I'm saying?
Now, speaking of something tangible, something you can hold, you got to tell them about trust, the gear. You know what I'm saying? Like, let them know, like, uh, where they can get it at. Because you killing them with the gear too, and let us know, like, why did you choose uh the whole thing with the trust? Like, what's the meaning behind the trust? The definition.
Hey man, man, it's self-explanatory what the meaning is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But before it was trust. Trust. The name of the record label is Trust Comes First. So you might hear me scream TCS. Music. That's what they trust. That's what the whole trust saying comes from.
Okay.
But that's what we represent over here.
Yeah. Hell yeah. I think it's something too in the record label, man. Too. Uh, I hate to say it, but it seems like it depends on what you name your label. It seems like what type of vibe, energy that you go off of, because all the greatest labels we know, man, they all collapsing, man, because of some other reason or the other, but whatever. But like the Bad Boy, the Death Rows, everything, man, it's just like so to hear, a label come out like Trust that'll make somebody want to sign. Like growing up, even though you're independent now, growing up, did you ever have that dream label? Like you like when I it's the label I want to sign to. Did you ever have a label you just wanted to sign to?
Yeah, I think in my early teens, I definitely wanted to be part of Rockefeller. I think I would have loved that.
Yeah,
Saying,
yeah.
yeah.
That would have been crazy. I can see you because eh, uh s- speaking of the Rock, okay, saying the Rock, how nice? What would you rank Beanie Siegel lyrically? Like I'm talking about, lyrically. What would you rank him in the Rock?
In the Rock, just
Yeah,
period.
yeah.
I would say period, man. Siegel is one of the best niggas.
Man,
Probably street believability. When it comes to believability and convincing, he
yeah,
probably definitely
yeah,
in the top five
yeah,
when it comes to believability. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And conviction. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I think
That,
everybody
that,
felt. You
yeah,
you had to feel Beanie Siegel. The
he
songs,
was
for
hitting
just the
hard.
titles.
Yeah, he was hitting very crazy when he came out.
Yeah,
Definite.
yeah. You know, it's crazy because that's type of impact that I would say, uh, with like that whole upstate New York brought back to hip hop. Like you had cats like I know straight, you know, old school OG gang banging, you know, cats that when they heard that, you know, they heard that Benny flow, that Conway flow, they heard you flow, shit, it was over with. They was back in their essence. You know what I'm saying? They felt good. They felt good about hip hop again. And they was like truly invested in it again. Like they were buying concert tickets and moving around and and these cats that don't even be on the internet, but they trying to follow, see what y'all saying and catch y'all freestyles and shit. So it's kind of like y'all brought that Benny Siegel, that type of nostalgia back that was missing. And I don't know, like it ain't talked about enough because y'all don't get the awards and shit, and y'all not getting all the accolades, or whatever. That's why I say underground. But growing up in the '90s, underground that was like a badge of honor to be underground. I come from EPMD and His Squad and Def Squad, so you know, like if you don't try to cross over and you still make it, those are dudes that we salute, especially on like Dope Lines podcast, man. We salute y'all too, man, for doing that. Like I don't really want to hold you up too, because I don't know what Wood doing, but I just got to ask you another question because the fans want to know. Uh, how did you end up meeting Griselda?
Me and Big, well, I used to go to Buffalo to record like 15, 20 years ago type shit. And
Okay.
I would record out of DJ Shay's studio, which was Benny's DJ. And we was both young niggas, and me and Benny came to relationship.
Okay.
And me and Benny was like rhyming partners back then. That's
Okay.
why we still rhyming partners now. And this was before Griselda,
Crazy.
Griselda. And then when the Griselda thing came, me and Benny just kept our relationship going. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's
So
how
so
that was.
so y'all was underground, still grinding, and then uh, who popped first? Was it Benny or you? Like who got the recognition? Because it seemed like you was out there like shit for a long time when I dig back
I
and
was
see.
so yeah, but they got the recognition first. It was Griselda that got the recognition first. And
Okay.
then Benny went over there, and then he got the recognition as well. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? And then and then they start realizing there was some talent up here upstate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm the last one they really get load of right now.
Oh shit. You got to let them know too. Um, I'm about to flash the tour dates too, but you got to let them know. I said you got a heavy tour coming, but I didn't see the city on there, man. I didn't see Chicago, and I was like, yo,
You
let's
know,
go up.
definitely get up to shine. You know what I'm saying? Probably sometime in August, man. So
Okay.
but my on tour right now, starting in Boston, 620 at the Middle
Oof.
East. Make sure you buy them tickets, man. And I'm
That shit
coming
might.
to a city or your city.
And I ain't gonna lie, that might be a treat. Uh, to go out to Bingtown, man, and see you get down. Um, couple of questions though I gotta ask you. Uh, what's your dream collabo? Uh,
Either me and Nas or me and Jay Z.
whew, okay.
Uh,
The best, huh?
uh,
Yeah,
yeah,
y-
both.
yeah. I can see that too. Um, shit, I definitely, shit, really, either or, it'd be a great hit. But to me, I was thinking, I never heard you. I'm not sure if you and Pusha cool, but if I ever heard you and Pusha T on a track, I might just start doing push-ups on the spot, man. I might just drop, man, start. I don't know what the fuck is going on, man. You and Pusha T on the track. How y'all relationship? Y'all cool? Y'all ever did something together?
I never met him, but I'm open to work. I never
Yeah,
met him though. You know,
that'd be sick. That'd be sick. Yeah, man. But I see. Hollywood is Wood. I couldn't get him today though, but we definitely, like I said, man, same way I made sure you and E got in the lab, I'm gonna make sure you and Wood get together because you know, y'all, I just think it'd be a good collabo, and Wood got some music too, man, and definitely I was gonna have him spit some rhymes, man, and try to get a collabo with you or something because he he taking that rap shit so serious. That was his first passion growing up. We always knew Wood as being a rapper, his brother actor, and then he just came up acting whatever. But we are with he got a hell of a story, and I want him to tell him your story or whatever. Tell him the story on how he met everybody in New York and how we got to New York though. But we definitely gonna make that happen though. That's a blessing though. But the last thing, what is if we ask everybody and everybody waiting on this right here? What's the dope line, man? What's the dopest line? We want to know the not even your dopest line, the dopest line that you ever heard that really inspires you and be like, shit.
Oh man, shit, man. What the fuck? It's so many of them and
I
shit,
know,
man. But you know, it's hard to top my shit now
man.
after all them shit.
I'm about to say it
Like,
too, Jack.
it's crazy you say that because before I start killing them and shit, a lot of lines probably would have popped in my head, but
Yeah,
ain't nobody out my shit, and it's
man.
hard to choose just one dope line from me. I got a million of them. You could close your eyes and just pick out the catalog. I bet you find you close your eyes and you just press play, and I bet you I got a bar on there better than every rapper
Man,
alive.
it's so crazy because I got a brain
Guaranteed.
freeze now, but I got so many. Like, it's one that you said, you said an old head gave you advice and you took it. Y'all not trying to uh get rich, y'all trying to look
Yeah,
it or something like. Did I misquote you?
right.
Ah, man,
I was quite close.
like I said, man, it's
Uh,
just so many. You like that's why I said you the type of dude that if you had a tape deck, you gonna make the tape pop. Because what made the tape pop is when you kept rewinding. You know what I'm saying? That's what made that
mm,
motherfucker pop. Because you kept rewinding certain lines and shit. And that's what dope lines is about, man. Like I said, man, you are like motherfucking the poster child for dope lines, man. Even though you got trust and you do your thing, but the way you mix it in, and then the way you talk about the streets and mix it in creatively. That's what make it special, man. That's what make it special, man. So, man, like I say, man, I appreciate you for chiming in, man. And I already know, man, they gonna be asking for you, man, to come back. And anytime you come to Chicago, man, you already know, man. You get the red carpet. Say less, man. We go make and you book shows too. I
mm-hmm.
gotta tell people that you an artist that book shows, man. You getting money all the way around, a true hustler of the game, man. But anytime, man, you want to chime in, you dropping something new, we here for you, man. And man, keep making that music. And you and Eric got something sick that he just dropped. Shout out to Boogie Man. Shout out to
Top
E.
boogie,
You know what I'm
out
saying?
to eat.
Yeah, yeah.
Word up.
But anything you got to say before we bounce?
Hey man, y'all just check me out on IG. I am special. I am special, man.
Man, real humble dude, y'all. Man, make sure y'all chime in with him. Uh, Trust me, if you never heard his music, play his music. If you like hip hop, you definitely go get tapped in with him, man. But like I said, real humble dude, good story, man. It's more. I know you got more coming in the future. I know your future gonna be bright, man. I see you in movies. I see you doing a whole lot of shit, man. So keep grinding, man. We got you back here, man. Salute, man, and peace, man. Thank you, bro.
Trust. Good looking, bro.
All right, family. Yes, sir.
Salute.
Yes, sir. Man, yo, like I said, man, that was one of hip hop's great. Later on, we go look at this interview and be like, man, that was a hip hop classic. I hate that Wood didn't come on because I was waiting on Wood to hop on, but I'm used to Wood. That's my homie, man. He'll pop up out of nowhere and just hop on my live and talk for an hour or two. So y'all just stay prepared. But ain't no telling what Wood was doing. So you know, but we had some good news he wanted to break, but I'm gonna let him tell it. on a later date. But shout out to 38 Special, man. This was a hell of a show. Um, 38, like I say, man, one of the hard workers, grinders in the hip hop, uh, one of the underground soldiers, the hard workers, you know, the people that don't get the respect that they should. You're not gonna see him at the BET Awards. You know, you might see him in the freestyle cipher, killing that shit. But he's not one of the dudes you see pop up. Getting an award. But I tell you this, and it's on my mama. Dope Lines Awards coming. Yeah, we gonna come out with awards, man, where we give it out to people like that, man. People like Wood Harris, people like 38 Special, people like Benny, like Stove God, like Common, like Lupe, like we giving out awards to people that we know that's doing work in the streets and started a movement, man. So man, I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in, man. Everybody for looking, for listening, like, subscribe, share. Of course, we go chop this video up and pass this one around, man. Make sure y'all share this video. Dope Lines. It's our first episode next week. We got some more people, man. So y'all make sure y'all tune in. Hit the notification button so y'all know who we got coming next week because we got a lot of people lined up. Shout out to 38 for opening up the floodgates. 'Cause like I said, now it's like people like they kind of mad they not on the show, man. I like that, man. Good old healthy competition, man. So one love to everybody tuned in, man. Again, Dope Lines Podcast. Make sure y'all check out Dope Lines Apparel. We got the website up and running. Dope Lines Apparel. Holla at y'all.